Hi, guys. A very good morning to you. Well, it's a good morning in India, but I know at this time in different parts of the world, wherever you're seeing me or watching this video, somewhere it'll be a good afternoon, somewhere it'll be a good evening. So, basically, greetings to all of you all. Well, today's topic is something which is very close to my heart, and the topic's name is an attitude of gratitude. This is something we need to develop, including me. We need to develop an attitude of gratitude. You know, in the Bible it says, give thanks to God in all circumstances. It does not say that give thanks to God in good things or for good things. It says give thanks to God for everything, for good and bad. So let us develop this attitude of gratitude. I want to start off with three examples, and whenever I share these examples, they are all real life stories. So let me start with the first one, and you'll come to know that the gravity of what it is to have a thankful heart. You know, once a 22-year-old man called me on my phone, and he went on complaining. He had a list of complaints. Amit uncle, I don't have a laptop. My friends have a laptop. I don't have a smartphone. I'm still, carrying on with the keypad phone because my father can't afford it. Most of my friends have bikes, but I don't have it. And he went on and on and on and on. I didn't say anything. I was just listening to him. And at the end of the phone call, I asked him one question. I said, "I'll take you to a place. Will you come along with me?" And he said, "Yeah, why not? Sure, I'll come along." I said, "Fine." So it was a Sunday, and I gave him a particular time. I picked him up on my bike, and I took him to a physically challenged home. It was a physically challenged home for the girls, and I knew most of these girls. Most of them were like my own daughters, because some of these physically challenged girls are suffering from polio, on wheelchairs, walking with crutches, and blind and deaf. Many of them were orphans, and God had used me for the last so many years to be a father figure to them. I used to feed them, I used to take them out, and so I knew everyone. So I took this man to that home, and I took him into the main the main lounge, and I introduced him to the girls, and I told the girls, why don't you tell your life stories to him? And they were very happy in meeting him, and I just left him there, and I came out and I was talking to the staff members and all that. After 15 minutes, this young man, comes out running, and he just hugs me, and he starts crying profusely. I mean, he was just crying and crying and crying. And I just patted him on the back and I said, "What happened? Why are you crying?" And he told me, Amit uncle, all these days I was cribbing and complaining about the things I don't have. I used to say I don't have a laptop, I don't have a bike, I don't have a smartphone. But today I realize for the blessings which I already have. Thank you for bringing me here. Thank you that today there has been an inner transformation in me, that from today I can start thanking God. That thank God I have eyes, I can see. Thank God I have hands and legs, I'm not sitting on a wheelchair. Thank God I can hear, I'm not deaf. So he kept on thanking me for bringing him to that institution, and I told him, yes, and that was the reason I brought you here, to open your eyes. And that day, this young man was completely changed, completely transformed, and he went back home a changed person. Yes, friends, do we keep on complaining about the things we don't have? Or should we start thanking God for the things we do have? I'll give you another two examples. Along with counseling people, I also pray for people. I go to hospitals to pray for patients. There was this one couple, a young couple, where the boy, in fact, a man, I mean, he was around 23 years old, and he was recently married. His wife was around 21. And this man, had just met with a very serious accident. And by the way, it was a bike accident and he was not wearing a helmet. Young guys and girls, when you're riding bikes and scooties, you please, this is a request to you, wear your helmets, because the consequences can be really grave if God forbid you meet with an accident. And that was the situation with this boy. And the family called me to the hospital to pray for him. I went i went to the room where he was lying down. Now, because of that serious accident, there was a grievous injury on his brain, and there was a brain hemorrhage. And because of that brain hemorrhage, this young man had gone into a coma. None of his bodily functions were happening, and he was just lying. And when I saw his face, the only thing in his whole body which was moving was his pupils. And and with those pupils he saw me, and I laid my hands on him and started praying for him. Like this, I used to go every day to the hospital. And every time, even though he couldn't talk, even though his body he couldn't move, but sometimes I saw those teardrops in his pupils in the eye, where he's trying to tell me that he wants to live. And I went on praying for him and praying for him for days together. Sometimes his wife used to be there and we used to pray together. But sometimes God doesn't answer our prayers. Well, can't help it. He's God. And so one day I got the news that this young man of 23 years old, he expired, he died. Imagine leaving his wife, a 21-year-old girl who got married to him, and they were recently married, and now she's all alone, and she was like, just crying and crying and crying, and this man died. Guys, have you ever wondered that when you're driving in bikes and scooters and cars, that so many times God has saved you from certain accidents? So many times. So many times. Let's take another example, another instance. There was this young man who called me for prayer, and one of his kidneys was not working. And he called me home, and I went to his house to pray for him. And he used to go to the hospital quite often for kidney dialysis, and he was in a bad shape. And in the hospital there was a huge list of the donors, and he used to every day check the list whether his name has come or not, or whether someone would donate his kidney or not. And this guy went on going to the hospital for kidney dialysis. It was a serious issue, and I went on praying for him. I bought a lot of spiritual books and spiritual CDs, and I gave it to him. He used to listen to that. I used to take him on my bike to prayer meetings and pray and pray and pray. And this guy was desperate to live. Desperate to live. And then one day I came to know that he was admitted to the hospital, and they tried their best to get a kidney, but they could not. And the kidney he was surviving on, that one kidney, even that collapsed. And this man, a young man who wanted to live, died. This was yet another time when God had not answered my prayer and our prayers. It happens. It happens. But that day, the next day, when his body was taken to the crematorium, that was the last time. I went there, and I stood beside his body, and I prayed for him, that may his soul rest in peace. And I came back home sad. He was again a young man. Guys, we have to learn to develop an attitude of gratitude, a thankful heart. In the Bible it says that a happy heart, a cheerful heart is good for the health. Is good for the health. But a sad heart, a sorrowful heart is bad for our health. And one more thing I'll tell you, happiness or sadness is a choice. It does not depend on circumstances. Does not. If I can't be happy what do you say? If I can't be happy with a full purse, uh, I'm sorry, I'm saying the other way around. If I can't be happy with an empty purse, I can never be happy with a full purse also. It's a choice. So many times, in Bangalore, I have roamed the streets with an empty purse. I've gone through such financial struggles. Even I do go through it even now. Sometimes I may have just $100 in my purse, and maybe that very time I get a call from the physically challenged home, from the handicap home, where one of the girls calls me and asks me that Amit uncle, can you get me a bottle of shampoo, or a soap, or some biscuits or something. And I say, sure, I'll get it. And with that last $100 which I had in my pocket, I just go to a store, buy all the shampoo and biscuits, all worth of $100. I take it and I travel to the handicap home with an empty purse. And my dealing with God is, my prayer to God is that whenever I'm traveling on the road on my bike with an empty purse, I pray that my bike never gets punctured. And God has always heard that prayer of mine, because God will never put his child in an embarrassing situation that if my bike gets punctured and I don't have money to repair the puncture. No. God is a very faithful God. He will never leave you abandoned like that. And so whenever I have traveled the streets of Bangalore with an empty purse on my bike has actually never got punctured. And the time when it got punctured, I had money in my purse to repair the puncture. Wow, what a God we serve. We have to develop a thankful heart. I can never forget in 2012, I met with a terrible accident. Me and my mom, we were on the bike, and there was a signal crossing. The bike was not even moving. I mean, it was just standstill. And just beside my bike, there's a huge truck, almost a 14-tire truck. And the signal was red. And the moment the signal turned green, the truck turned right. And the driver of the truck didn't see that my bike was on the left side. And as he turned right, the back tire of the truck hit my bike. And I fell down. Mommy fell down. Thankfully, nothing happened to mom, not even a scratch. But the tire of the truck went over my right hand. If you see my hand very closely, you will see some spots out here. And you know what these spots are? These spots are of those tires. The tire should have crushed my hand into mincemeat, but it didn't. And I strongly believe that there would have been some angels which lifted the tires of the truck, and it did not crush it completely. But yes, of course, there were multiple fractures. But you know something? From that accident site to the hospital emergency, it was almost a 45 minutes journey by a vehicle. And as there were so many guys who surrounded us, and because it was a very serious accident, some of the guys, they parked my bike somewhere, and they rushed me in the auto, and my mom was with me in the auto, and we were going to the hospital. But you know something? Right from that accident site till the hospital emergency, which was a 45 minutes journey, I kept on thanking God. I kept on saying, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. I kept on thanking. And as I kept on thanking God, I was filled with His peace. In the Bible, God says, I give you my peace, not the peace of the world. And God filled me with His peace. I could not feel, the bone had all jutted out from my hand, and my hand was completely mangled. And in that situation, had the peace of God and I was just thanking God. And I couldn't feel the pain. And once I reached the hospital emergency, the head of orthopedics, he was informed about it. He rushed to the emergency, and when he saw the hand and when he heard the background story and how the truck had hit me, he was really shocked. And he said, if God saved Amit's hand, then as a doctor, I'm going to do my level best to save his hand. And immediately they rushed me for surgery, and they operated on me, and they did a lot of stuff. And then I was, my hand was all plastered and all that. And you know what? November 2012, I met with an accident, and December, I was supposed to take an entire orphanage team, a group of 22 children with staff. It came up to around 30 people. I had promised them that I'll take them to Chennai, to the sea beach, because these children had never seen a sea beach. But November, I meet with this accident. But in December, first week, when it was my first visit to the doctor with all the fracture, you know something, I never asked the doctor about my hand only. My first question to him was that, Doc, I had actually promised some children, some orphan children of an orphanage, that I'll take them to Chennai, to the sea beach. Can I take them? The doctor was zapped. Here I am in such a serious condition in my hand, and I'm talking about taking children to the sea beach. And the doctor looked straight into my eyes and he said, well, Amit, if that makes you happy, fine, go. But don't go near the sea. I said, don't worry, I will not. And guys, with that fractured hand and all the plaster and everything, I took all these children with the staff to Chennai for 3 days. We had stayed in a school, in classrooms and all, and every day the children used to go to the beach and play, and I was so happy seeing them happy. And then after 3 days we came back to Bangalore, and again when I went back to the doctor, they came to know that the surgery was not successful. So in January they did one more surgery, and this time it was a more complex surgery. They had to put rods and all that in my hand. You know what? For 1 year, my right hand was not working. But I never cribbed. I never complained. I never said, why me, God? Never. I kept on thanking God for everything. And as I kept on thanking God for everything, I noticed that my hand was also starting healing from inside. And in all that fracture, I still used to take classes. I used to go to college with the fractured hand and take classes. With this fractured hand, I used to counsel people. Guys, I'll tell you something. There are various reasons behind depression, but one of the reasons is when I keep on thinking about my problem and my pain, there is a chance I may go into depression. And so, this is a suggestion to you that when you are in pain, focus on someone else's pain. Try to be a blessing to someone else. And I'll tell you, when you become a blessing to someone else, trust me, you will see your own pain reducing. Yep. Develop a thankful heart. Thank God I'm alive. So many, every day you read newspapers and you see so many accidents, so many deaths, even without their own fault. If you're alive and living right now, be thankful. Thank God for your health. Thank God that I have hands and legs. Thank God you can hear. Thank God that all the organs in the body are working. Thank God that you can have 3 meals a day. There's so many people in different parts of the country where they don't even have the money to have even 1 meal a day. Thank God that you have, running water in your tap. Do you know there are places in the world where there is a scarcity of water? Thank God that you have electricity in the house. There's so many people in the villages where there's no electricity. Thank God you're studying in a college. Rather than cribbing about the college, that the college is not good and blah blah blah, because I've had many students coming and telling me, Amit uncle, this college is not good and all that. My dear, thank God that you are in a college and your parents had the money to take care of your fees. I remember one girl in our own locality, very poor. Father is physically challenged, plus he was an alcoholic, and they have three children. And one of the children wanted to get into PU after finishing class 10, but she didn't have the money. The father didn't have the money. And I had to contact people all across India to arrange that money for the fees. And the fees was almost, touching 40,000 just to get admission in a nice college for PU. And there was different families and individuals who started giving 500, 100, 1000, and so I had collected around 40,000 from different people, and then with the family I went to that college, paid the fees, and the girl got admitted, and today she's doing well. Come on, start thanking God for your blessings. Thank God that you have internet in the house or on your phone. There are many people who can't afford it. Thank God that you have a talent. Don't take your talents and gifts for granted. There are people who don't have, let's say you are talented in dancing or in singing or something. Thank God for that. And keep on using the talent, because if you don't use your talent, then that's a waste. If God has given you a gift or a talent, whether it is singing, dancing, drawing, painting, whatever that may be thankful to God for that, and then start using the talent for His glory. Start thanking God for everything. Thank God that you have so many clothes in the cupboard. I know of young people who don't have, even 3 pairs of clothes. Thank God that you have sweaters and shawls and jackets. I can never forget this incident where, I had gone to Nasik, Maharashtra for training, and early morning I came down just to have a cup of tea, and there was this man, mind you, it was December, extremely cold, and there was this poor man who slept on the pavement the previous night with a bare body. He didn't even have a stitch of cloth on his body. Body was bare, and where I was having tea, he just came that side, looking at me, wanting to have that tea, and I saw him shivering. Mind you, it is winter, December, extremely cold, and this guy doesn't even have a stitch of cloth on his body, and he's shivering. I gave him a cup of tea, and the first thing I did, I went up to my hotel room. I had only one sweater, a full sleeve sweater. I brought that sweater, gave it to him. I made him wear it. And then I noticed that even in that sweater he was feeling cold. He was still shivering. Again I went back to the hotel. I had just one bed sheet with me, which I had brought from home. And I came down again. Again I wrapped the bed sheet around him and I said, "Take care." And he had the tea, and then he went off. And I went back to my hotel, just getting ready for college and all that. But you know something? This is something you need to hear. That day I prayed. I said, "Lord, I had just one sweater, I gave it to him. I just had one bed sheet and I gave it to him. And I really don't know how I am going to go back to Bangalore in the train, shivering in the night. I have no idea. But the Lord is faithful." And you know what? When I got the ticket, the train ticket from the training company, I saw it was an AC coach. And those who are familiar with the trains in India, and in AC coaches, they will give you a blanket. And I was so thankful to God. I said, "Wow, this is a miracle." And then I came back to Bangalore in that AC coach. The blanket which was provided by the staff of the train, and I just wrapped it on, and I was so, and I felt so warm, and I reached back Bangalore safe and sound. Thank God for your warm clothes. Thank God that you have warm water in the house during winters. There are people who have a bath in cold water. Thank God that you have a gas cylinder in the house. There are people who still cook using kerosene and stoves and all that. Thank God you got a bathroom in the house. Do you know how many villages are there in India where the houses still don't have a bathroom? Come on, guys. We need to develop an attitude of gratitude. Rather than making a list of complaints, let's make a list of all our blessings. Thank God that when you have a festival or something, you celebrate that festival with sweets and all that. There are people who don't have sweets, who can't afford to buy sweets. Thank God you have the money to go by bus. I know of people who don't have the money even to go to school for by bus. They just walk. Come on. Thank God that you have good blood flowing in your body. You know, there have been cases where a guy or a girl has gone to a hospital for just a plain surgery, and they had to give some blood into that person, and accidentally or whatever, an HIV positive blood was given to him, and that guy or girl now has HIV positive without any fault of his or hers. So thank God for the good blood flowing in your body. Thank God that your lungs are working. You know, I know of people who've got lung cancer even though they've not smoked even a single cigarette in their lives, but they got it. They got cancer now. Thank God your health is okay, your lungs are working. Thank God for the sun, the moon, the stars, the oceans, the mountains, everything. Thank God for the good times and thank God for the bad times. You may actually ask me this question: how can I thank God during that bad time? My dear, listen to me. You are only seeing the bad at that moment from the surface level, but there is something good hidden in it, which you will see later on, or God will reveal to you later on. You know, there are many young people, boys and girls in colleges, couples who come to me for counseling, and you know, I'm a person where, you know, I always try to help them, uh, uh, get along with each other, and give them the tips how to have a healthy relationship and all that. I really don't like breakups. I really don't. But there have been cases where ultimately, in that relationship, a breakup happened for whatever reason. Well, listen to me. All those people going through a breakup right now, trust me on this, it's good for you. Why? Because God has kept someone better for you, who God will bring at the right time. You just need to be patient. Everything happens for the good. That's why in the Bible it says, all things work together for good for those who love the Lord. All things work together for good for those who love the Lord. So everything happening in your life and in my life right now is happening for the good. And that good, God will reveal to you and me in His time. Not my time, not your time. He will reveal to us the good in His time. You and me need to be patient. So guys, let's develop an attitude of gratitude, giving thanks to God for everything. You know, I want to say this, because I deal with a lot of young people who are going through a lot of relationship issues, and um, let's say, I was just talking to you about the breakup, and let's say the person is going through a breakup right now. I always tell this to people. Um let's say, um, do you want short-term happiness and long-term pain, or do you want short-term pain and long-term happiness? And the person who's going through a breakup would actually tell me, no, I want short-term pain and long-term happiness. And then I tell that person that the breakup what you're going through right now, it's a short-term pain. but you are paving your way for a long-term happiness. Time is the best healer for the emotions to be healed. I want you to understand this. I want you to understand this. Yes, we always wish and pray that everything should go fine in a relationship. But when things cross a limit, where one person is abusing the other person, or physically abusing the other person, and things have crossed the limit, and there is no compatibility, and for some reason the breakup happens, so be it. So be it. You will go through that short term pain, but you are paving your way for a long term happiness. But there are others, there are some other people where it's not, this I'm talking about before marriage, okay, when they are in a relationship before marriage. So let's say before marriage they're in a relationship, and things are not working out and not working out and not working out, and they've tried everything, and but it's not working out, it's getting from bad to worse, and but still they're trying to cling on and trying to so what's the end result? They've tried everything on planet earth to work that out, but it's not happening. And because of that emotionally attachment and all that, they try to still hang on. And so what happens, they're aiming for that short term happiness, but they're paving a way for long term pain. So the question is, do I look for that short term happiness and long term pain, or do I want that short term pain and long term happiness? Though as I told earlier, though I don't encourage breakups, I always try my best. That's why I have lots of sittings with couples, helping them to work out the relationship. So and I don't like breakups, because I know the trauma the person will go through if they go through a breakup. I know the pain, I know the tears, I've seen it all. So I don't like breakups. I don't favor breakups. I always want them to work their relationship out. But sometimes when they've tried everything else and it's not working out and they go through a breakup, so be it, accept it, it's good for you. You'll go through short term pain, but you will pave a way for long term happiness. And in God's timing, God will bring the right person in your life who will love you, respect you for who you are, and you'll get married to that. You'll get married to that person, and you live a happily. You live. Like a happily married couple. So give thanks for everything. For everything, give thanks for that breakup also. Give thanks for failures. All of us want to pass. We really want to do well. But let's say I failed. It's okay, don't make it into a big deal. If failure was so bad, then we would not be having a quotation which says that failure is a stepping stone to a success. Correct, right? There is a quotation which says failure is a stepping stone to a success. So, accept that failure, then work on it, and ensure that next time you're successful. Learn to take challenges in life. So from today, let's make it part of our lifestyle that from today, I'm going to thank God for everything. Let's develop this attitude of gratitude. Come on, friends, let's develop this attitude. And that goes for me also. All of us need to develop this attitude of gratitude. Now, before I end this video, I would like to close with a word of prayer. So I would request you to close your eyes and let's pray. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for this wonderful people who are watching me on this channel, this very topic, to develop an attitude of gratitude. Lord, teach us to develop an attitude of gratitude. Teach us to be thankful for everything. Yes, Father. Teach us to be thankful for everything. I pray for all these children who are watching me, all these people who are watching me. Lord, bless them. Bless them in their personal and professional life. Bless them and fulfill all their prayers. Yes, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for listening to this prayer, and thank you for answering it. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Have a wonderful day. Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye.